So, can trading change the whole course or the outlook of your life? It can for many, and it does, and it has. And people have been trading for many, many years, um, and it's changed the course of my life. All right. I'm able to do this each and every day from the comfort of my home, or if I go on vacation and just have a couple moments and I want to pick up a couple extra $100, it's pretty easy to do so, but you really need to buckle down and know what you're doing. It's just not a matter of, oh, I have the funds and I'm going to put it into a brokerage account or find a broker and a platform to use, and then you start trading thinking you're going to become successful overnight. That's not the way this business works. I don't know why so many people think that trading is very easy. They can just, jump right into it, not have any information or knowledge how to trade, and they're just chasing the markets. Look, I chased the market too when I first was starting off. I was taking every break and retest, pull back to area of support and resistance, not knocking anyone into trade support and resistance. And those type setups could be great areas because a lot of times, I trade supply and demand, and the market may not come all the way back to my demand zone or my supply zone, and it may bounce off an area of support and resistance. But when you're trading a break and retest, pretty much an area of support and resistance, you could be caught up in what's classified as liquidity. All right. And then the market just moves on back or pulls back to a key area of demand or pushes up to a key area of supply. So I rather get into the market where the buying or selling took place, that aggressive area where the market took off from, versus taking a trade halfway through the move. I've talked about that in videos in the past. So can you make money daily doing this business? Can you do it part-time? Can you do it even full-time and making a living? Yes, you can. I don't recommend anyone just jumping into this overnight, okay? I know this is kind of more like I guess a sequel to yesterday's video in a sense, but I'm touching on the basis of how trading can change your life. Because if you equate and really look at what maybe your income is that you're making on, say, a weekly or a monthly basis, if you're getting paid salary, depending on how you get paid, just kind of break that down. What are you making per day? All right. For instance, let's just say, for example, maybe you're making, I don't know, $100,000 a year. All right. So I'm going to show you, for example, if you break that down, $100,000 over the course of 12 months, right? Okay. And not every single month do we have equal amounts of trading days, I would say, because, you have the holidays and the bank closures and the market maybe having half day closes and things of that nature. But anyways, divide that by 12, and this is what you primarily make gross a month, right? So if you make that gross a month, then you can kind of say, break that down on a daily basis. But it's going to be, well, if you break it down on a daily basis, let's just say that, okay? So let's do this. Okay, just to say divide by 30, okay? We're just doing an average, all right? We're not talking about, I know people are going to go out there and quote me on specific amounts of days in a trading year and things of that nature, but I'm just talking about on average. So maybe you're making $275, $300, a day, somewhere in that area, maybe possibly. We're just talking about averages, all right? So $275 a day. And, again, you are making that and looking to possibly maybe, try to eliminate the frustration, eliminate the headache, eliminate having to spend, countless number of hours. Because most people who work on a salary basis, there's really no cap, quote unquote, to say to speak, how many hours they put in. You hear people talking about they're working, anywhere between 70, 80 hours a week and, making $100,000. So if you are making, say, $100,000 a year and you're working 60 hours a week, you really start to think about, daggone, is this really worth my time? Because I'm putting all this extra work into doing something to make, so basically it kind of offsets it. Well, not say offsets it, but it basically gives you, it's a drawback in a sense, because even though your mind psychologically you're thinking that you're making $100,000, when you equate to, on $100,000, typically working 40 hours a week, yeah, it makes sense because you're roughly making around about $48 an hour. Kind of do the math for in a minute. But if you work 60 hours a week versus 40 on 100,000, then you're working yourself over to make less on an hourly basis, if that makes sense, if you break it down. So for example here, I'm going to show you. So you make $100,000 a year, right? All right, and there's 52 weeks in a year, right? And we're talking about working 40 hours a week. So typically the way to do it is this right here. So there's work 40 hours a week times 52, and that's going to equate to like 2,080 working hours in a year, all right? But, okay, and if we do that with $100,000, on 2,080 working hours in a year, divided by this right here. What does that give us? Roughly $48 an hour. We're making on 100. If you break it down, what you receive on your based on salary of 100,000 a year, and break it down to an hourly basis to see how much you're making hourly based on the number of working hours on 40 hours working a week, then that's $48 an hour. Now, if you're making $100,000 and you're working more than that, then that's where it's like, okay, I'm really exhausting myself because I'm really not getting I'm getting my $400,000, but I'm having to work extra to receive that in a sense. And I know people think that they don't mind doing that, but in the longevity of things, this is where people get burnt out, okay? Because then they start thinking about the equation or how things equate to what they're getting paid versus the number of hours they're putting in. So we take 100, say for instance, you take that same 40 hours a week times 52 weeks in a year, and what do you get? 2,080 working hours, right? Well, let's say you're working 60 hours because your salary now, and times 52 weeks in a year. That's 3,120 working hours that you're doing, okay? Versus that 2,080. So you're putting in more, you're exhausting more, and even though you're getting paid the same, but it just doesn't equate out, okay? Now you're burning the wick on both sides of the candle, okay? So if you take that and try to factor, okay, where I was once receiving $48 an hour, what does it equate to now that I'm putting in more time, giving more time to this company or business? All right, so we take that 3,120 working hours, okay? All right, and divide that by the number of, take 100, your salary of $100,000 and divide that by now the 3,120 hours, because now we're looking at working 60 hours a week. Okay, and what does that give you? Now you're making, you were at $48 an hour. Now you scale down to $32 an hour because now you're exerting out more energy, more time, and giving more time of your business away from your family to the company in a sense. So the thing about this, what I'm trying to really draw down to or talk about, is that you could do something just like trading futures, okay? Or any other business that you can creatively come up with that you're passionate about. And this is where people separate themselves from the corporate world, and then they step over into owning something of their own, creating something of their own. Like this right here, what I do each and every day trading futures, I do it 2 hours a day. And sometimes I can do it within just 30 minutes, all right? There's plenty of ample opportunity and time to do so because the markets are open 23 hours a day and only close 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. So I don't have to worry about breaking things down. How much time or energy am I exerting now to receive a certain amount of salary or income? All right. It's just a matter of I got to use my brain a little bit more. And if once I master something, just like anything else in life, and you become great at it, you can do it and you know it in the back of your hand, and you can do it with your eyes closed, I'm saying. Now, I'm not saying you can do that with trading in a sense, because we have to visually see the charts and understand what's going on. But when you are more experienced and you spent more time doing this, then you can see the beauty behind and how simple it is to be able to make money within an hour or 2 hours a day. And it just makes more sense to do this. And when you convert it down to say, I was making $100,000, putting in 60 hours a week, giving that away to my employer just to really break down and make $32 an hour. Okay. All right. But if I equate it now and I'm making that same $100,000 a year, okay, but I'm only giving or putting in 2 hours a day, think about the upside, okay? How much are you really making now? So let's take a look at that, okay? So if we take 2 hours a day, that's all we're going to work, just 2 hours a day, 2 hours times 5 days a week, okay? This is an average, guys, again, okay? We're looking at the number of working hours we would put in if we were only working 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 10 hours a week, right? 10 hours a week, okay? Then we do that times the number of weeks in a year times 52. That's 520 hours we're going to put in trading futures on an annual basis, okay? So then take that $100,000 that you were making from your employer, and you say, I want to make $100,000, but I want to put in less hours in doing so with trading futures. So we're only going to work 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week on 52 weeks, 52 weeks out of the year. So take $100,000, divide that by 520 hours you're going to put in annually. Now look what you're making hourly, $192 an hour versus the 32 for working 60 hours a week, or even the 40 hours a week, making $48 an hour. You make a whole lot more money, and it's possible to do this in less time trading futures, just 2 hours a day. Because, I mean, you would hear most traders who are professional or experienced that say, well, I only put 30 minutes in and I made $1,000. Or only put, 2 hours a day and I made $2,000 or $2,500. So what I'm trying to just really show you is that spend less time doing something that you love doing, master it, and you can make more money from the standpoint of how much time you put in on an hourly basis on that $100,000. Again, we're looking at making $100,000 just, to basically leave our job in a sense once I'm not telling anyone to jump ship, okay? I'm not telling you to do that. I'm saying that if you find and you love the idea of wanting to trade, and it doesn't have to be futures. It can be, Forex options, whatever it may be. But I just feel like, to me, trading futures is the best opportunity. That's the best route to go. And I'm not just saying that because I do so. It's just the fact is, if you do your own homework, you'll see people are switching over from many different markets to come over to the future markets. It's a beautiful thing, But what I'm trying to tell you is that $100,000 you're making from your employer, you can do it again and make the same kind of money in less time. Not less time, meaning that you can make $100,000 in 6 months. Well, you possibly could. You could definitely do so if you really know what you're doing. But what I'm trying to say is that you can do it working less on an hourly, on a daily basis, in regards to the number of hours you're putting in. No longer working the 40 hours a week. No longer working the 60 hours a week. Okay, all right. Just putting in 2 hours a day, and you can make the same amount of income. Now, is it risky? Yeah, it's risky. Most things we do in life, no matter what it is that we're looking to step into when it comes to business opportunities, just as risky as landing a great job. You don't know what's going to go on with your employer tomorrow. You don't know if you're going to get that pink slip or that layoff, and they have to pay you some means of severance or whatever the case is, and then you have to figure out what's your next opportunity. Or are you going to have to tap into your savings and like they always say, hey, have enough of at least 6 months to a year, 12 months savings put away in just in case of a dire need, to where maybe you're laid off, whatever the case is, and be able to live off of that until you find something else or get back on your feet, right? What I'm trying to say is that the risk level is there, and no matter what we do in life, we just have to have backup plans. And even if you want to trade and you work a full-time job, part-time trading is still a great opportunity, because now you got, say for instance, two means of income coming in: full-time employment, security, and then you can trade and and put away extra money for the kids' college fund, or maybe for extra vacation money to travel with, or just put it away for savings for a rainy day, or maybe you want to buy a new car and pay cash for it, or pay down your mortgage, whatever it may be. But I'm just telling you, this is why and how people become wealthy is through the means of investments in trading, is what I'm talking about. So I just want to break things down to tell you and let you know that trading can change the whole course of your life if you really spend time, do the math, quote unquote, like I'm saying here. Don't quote me. I'm just telling you, for the fact is that I'm looking at things from an average. I mean, now when we're talking about the number of working hours in a year, yeah, it's 2,080 working hours in a year based on 40 hours work week at 52 weeks in a year. That's the number of how basically payroll breaks things down when it comes to people's salaries or breaking what they're going to make salary wise and things of that nature. Now, when it comes to trading, things are a little differently. I'm just using again on an average basis. But yes, when we start talking about holiday hours and how many days there are actually in a year, the numbers could be just slightly skewed or whatever the case is. But I'm just talking about averages, okay? And showing you that you can make more money exerting less energy and time in trading without, with only having to put in a small portion of time on a daily basis, 2 hours a day. And sometimes, you can make, let's say your goal is to make $500 a day. Okay. So if you take $500, right quick, again, these are averages. I'm just saying, guys, okay, 500 times 5. $2,500 a week, and then let's just say we have 52 weeks in a year. All right, that's $130,000, and it could be a little less than that, I'm sure, because of bank holidays and things of that nature. But I'm just showing you that how you can definitely do so. I mean, even $250 a day. I mean, which is very easy to do. I mean, extremely easy to do if you know what you're doing. we're talking 250 a day times 5. That's 1250 a week. Times 52 weeks in a year. Okay, it may be less weeks. Again, it can be it can be less weeks than that because of banks and holiday closures and things of that nature. But $65,000, you can make, if you're looking, just that could be on a part-time basis, just grabbing $250 out of the market a day. That's pretty easy to do if you know what you're doing. Trading, and it doesn't really matter the market, but I trade primarily the NASDAQ. I trade the indices when it comes to futures, and not pushing or persuading anybody to trade those particular markets. But what I'm trying to say is that basically, if you understand how to trade correctly, and that's understanding market structure and price action, I'll talk about that heavily across the channel here. And I think that, no matter where you're receiving information from or education from, they should be pushing market structure. Market structure is extremely important. It is the viable piece that sets the glue for everything and the tone for, a person trading when it comes to whatever strategy that they're going to trade. I trade supply and demand, and I have a certain strategy and how I do so, and I talk about it just about in every video here on the channel, and I break it down as well when I do trade breakdowns for the elite members. And if you're interested in becoming an elite member, you can find the link down in the description portion of this video. It's right below the Discord link. The Discord is free of charge, so if you're interested in joining the Discord, just scroll down to the description portion of the video. You'll see 2 links. One, the top one, the Discord. The second one is to become an elite member. $6.99 a month. All you're doing is supporting me as a content creator here on this platform through YouTube. But there's perks and rewards that you receive as far as kickbacks, like the trade breakdowns, to where I'll walk you through my mindset of the trades that I've taken and discuss those trades in great detail. And it's helped so many people or traders out that are part of this community here. And if you don't believe me, you can come over to the Discord and find out for yourself. But that's if you choose to do so, okay? But again, you're just supporting me in my efforts as a content creator. And I greatly appreciate that. We have tons of individuals who have joined and have found value and success in becoming an elite member. So if you choose to do so, the link is down in the description. But the strategy and how I trade, there's so many videos here on this channel, and I talk about that, how I trade, and it's pretty easy. The more people practice it, the more they comment and they say, man, I passed my evaluations. Now, I don't trade prop firms, okay? I'm just telling you that we have a lot of people that are part of the community that do trade through using prop firms and have passed evaluations or are making money and taking withdrawals from prop firms because they learn the strategy. And I get it I get it lots of times throughout the week, almost on a daily basis, where people have said, man, your strategy has helped me pass my evaluations, okay? And now I've passed it with 2, 3, 5, accounts and things of that nature. So congrats to everyone out there who is finding success in using the strategy. Put their own twist on it, like I talk about. Put your own little ingredient or flavor onto things and make it work for yourself. But if you have a strategy that works, I'll talk about this as well. Trade what works for you. I'm just showing you examples to anyone who's new watching the channel or anyone that's come across this video. It is very possible, to make a living full-time from trading. If your goal is to, maybe you're getting ready to retire, maybe you are burnt out and looking to make the same amount of money as far as income that you were making from your employer or the job position you have, and looking to do something but put in less time and spend more time with your family and have more time for yourself, this is a great opportunity, okay? But anyways, I just want to show you, these are based on averages. You can kind of do your own math and kind of see how things break down for you. But I appreciate each and every one of you who support the channel. Thank you for watching. If you haven't become a subscriber already, please take the time to go ahead and click on the sub button down below. What are you waiting for? The information here is I put it out here public. There's so much great value and content here in the channel to spend some time, pen and pad, and take notes. And but go ahead and sub today. If you're a new viewer, go ahead and take the time to click on the subscribe button. Make sure to turn on all your post notifications so you never miss one of the uploads here on the channel. Last but not least, please drop a like on the video if you found value in the content. And I'll see everyone in the next video. Take care.